Yo, man, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's Jay chilling in the building, baby. And today, you already know what we're about to get into, man. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, come to the ninth floor so y'all can learn game the right way. And today, we are reacting to a very insane story. It says here, TikTok influencer facing death penalty by firing squad. Gang, I don't know what country she's in. I don't know what she did. But death by firing squad is fucking crazy. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go.
It's not every day you wake up and you see influencer facing by firing squad in 2026. So obviously, I wanted to know everything about this case and how we even landed here. Because apparently she thought that she found the perfect online romance. And instead, just weeks after landing in Dubai, her boyfriend had his life taken. She was sitting in jail, charged with that crime. And she was claiming that she acted in self-defense. Now she's facing one of the toughest legal systems in the world. So let's break down what exactly happened. When I first saw the headlines, I assumed this was going to be like another straightforward influencer crime story, but the more I looked into this case, the less straightforward it became. Because right now, there are two very different stories being told. On one side, you have the prosecutors in Dubai who've charged the 23-year-old British influencer, Brooke George, with premeditated after her boyfriend, William Treby, had his life taken away. If she's convicted, she's facing the ultimate consequences under the UAE law. And on the other side, you have Brooke, her family, and the advocacy group representing her. And they say this was not premeditated at all. They say that she was trying to survive an abusive attack and acted in self-defense. And the difficult part here is, at least publicly, we haven't heard much from investigators beyond the charge itself. Most of the
Bro, the fact that she's in Dubai means that she's fucking Dubai might be one of the most misogynistic. People think America is misogynistic. Go to Dubai and I want you to speak out against a man in any type of way, shape, or fashion. Shawty, you are getting suplexed through the table. Dubai is one of the most... Dubai is racist. Dubai is sexist. And Dubai is misogynist. Like people see the whole influencer lifestyle of Dubai and think, oh, it's just like rich people, all this. Bro, no. You were getting dookied on. You cannot talk crazy to any of the men out there. And if you are a woman caught doing any crime, bro, they are going to throw the fucking book at you. Yeah, she was tripping.
Detailed timeline that's been reported so far comes from Brooke's family and the organization assisting her, while UAE authorities haven't publicly laid out why they believe the crime was premeditated. The advocacy group is called Detained in Dubai, and they say their mission is to help foreigners in the UAE legal system and to campaign for fair treatment. So they obviously think that Brooke is not getting fair treatment. And throughout this video, I'm going to be very careful to, separate what's being confirmed and what's being alleged. So with all that out of the way, let's start from the beginning. So you have Brooke George, who's a 23-year-old from Gravesend, Kent, who built a following on TikTok and Instagram by posting lifestyle content, travel photos, and snapshots of, I guess, what looked like a pretty normal life. Before that, she reportedly worked at John Lewis, and from the outside, nothing really seemed like she'd find herself at the center of an international criminal case. But earlier this year, she met 26-year-old William Treby online, and according to multiple reports, the two connected through Facebook, quickly started talking, and before long, what began as an online relationship turned into plans to see each other in person. Treby had been living and working in Dubai, and Brooke eventually flew out to visit him.
Her daughter, Brooke, she's only 23, she's very naive. She met this guy on Facebook dating. She went over to Dubai. It was, from her point of view, it's a whirlwind romance. He's taken her to all the high-end luxury restaurants, taken her to the beach clubs. He arranges for her to have this modelling photo shoot on the beach. She's very proud and happy about all this. Goes back home, tells Mum, look, I've met a guy who this could be a man I could spend my future with.
And according to her account, that first trip went really well. She later described it as the time of my life. And I guess between the beaches and the luxury places, it kind of looked like the typical honeymoon phase for an influencer couple. But I guess according to Brooke and her family, that feeling didn't last too long. So the problems didn't really begin until she returned to Dubai for the second visit.
He flies her out again to Dubai, but according to her account, the experience she has is very, very different. She's left alone in an apartment for a lot of the time. There are other people in the apartment. When they do go out, they're accompanied by this other chap.
So she says that William acted completely different from the man that she'd gotten to know during the first trip. And through statements released to the advocacy group Detained in Dubai, Brooke alleges that he became controlling and abusive, and that little things started making her feel like something was not right whatsoever.
It said after she discovered he had only booked a one-way trip for her. Oh yeah, he was trying to take her through the poop shoot. Trying to sell her out there to that poop shoot shit, man. How do you think he was affording all those luxury dinners and stuff, bro? He was the poop shoot specialist. Look, man, there's a couple places I say like this. Whether you love your girl or not, there's a couple of places like where she goes, depending on the trust and stuff you have in your relationship, you got to be very careful. If she go to Dubai by herself, if she go to Texas by herself, if she go to Miami by herself, Gang, pray y'all didn't have an argument before she left. Dubai though, no, she's probably going out there to get cracked. In Dookie though. Because it says here, bro only broke a one-way trip for Shawty. He was trying to turn into a poop. That's a fact.
So one of the biggest red flags was apparently discovering that he'd only booked her a one-way ticket to Dubai. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Brooke's family also claims that she realized that he had her passport, making it way harder for her to just simply leave and fly home whenever she wanted. And again, these are allegations that haven't been proven in court, but they're central to Brooke's account of what happened next. So her mother says that she noticed a change almost immediately. During Brooke's first visit, she sounded excited and happy whenever they spoke, but on the second trip, those phone calls became very different. According to her mother, Brooke was quieter than usual and seemed very anxious. She also said that her daughter kept insisting that everything was fine, but she could tell something had changed. Then came a phone call that, looking back, has become one of the most important parts of the family story. So her mother says that Brooke was crying uncontrollably. She sounded terrified and repeatedly said that she wanted to come home. She also says that she could see one of Brooke's eyes was swollen and beginning to close. And around the same time, Detained in Dubai said Brooke had started telling friends that things weren't right and that she needed to get out of Dubai. So the organization also said that Brooke became concerned that she had been lured there under false pretenses, though there's been no public evidence released by investigators supporting this claim. So I mean, regardless of whatever was happening behind closed doors, it's clear that, at least at this point, the relationship Brooke had described as the time of her life was, at least according to her account, pretty much over. And now she wanted to escape. Then came the night that changed both of their lives forever. So the two went out together the evening to McCafferty's bar in Jumeirah Village. Brooke alleges that after William had been drinking, an argument broke out and he became violent on the drive back to the apartment. Brooke claims that the assault continued once they got home. And at some point, she says that she decided she needed to leave Dubai altogether. And Brooke managed to arrange a flight back to London with the help of her friends. But there was one major problem. She still needed her passport. They say that she returns to the apartment to collect it, believing that she could just grab her stuff and head straight to the airport. But what happened next is obviously the main part of this entire case, because Brooke says that she was crying, begging for her passport to be returned, when William allegedly attacked her again. She claims that she was punched repeatedly, feared for her life, and reached for a kitchen knife that was within arm's reach. And William then lost his life after being stabbed. But the question is, why? Brooke says she acted in self-defense because she believed that she was in danger. Dubai prosecutors, however, have charged her with premeditated, and that's where this case becomes very difficult to look at. Publicly, authorities haven't really explained what evidence led to them to conclude that the crime was premeditated. They haven't released a detailed account of the incident or laid out the theory behind the charge, and they're also pursuing one of the most serious criminal charges possible under UAE law. After the crime, Brooke made her way to the Dubai International Airport to board a flight back to London that had been arranged with the help of her friends. But she never got on that plane. In the early hours of June 22nd, she was stopped by authorities and arrested. Before long, she was formally charged with premeditated and taken into custody. Brooke's family says that when she was arrested, she still had visible injuries from what they claim happened earlier that night.
Things are very, very different over there, according to the family, and there's this organization.
No, he like I said, man, I feel so bad for this girl because she obviously was just getting abused by this dude 110%. She got lured in with, you know, like the fancy, like the first trip was the first trip was just to lure in, you know what I'm saying? The second trip was kind of like, oh nah, baby, this is taken now. Like you're not leaving. Because why wouldn't you give her her passport? If a girl is crying and begging for her passport like she wants to leave you, why, like that already like puts the story in a bad headspace for me, because it's like if someone wants to leave me, I feel like as a man, you should always take that as like a blessing if somebody wants to leave you, because you should be pursuing peace. The fact that she had to do all this sneaky stuff, all this roundabout way to leave, lets me know like bro was most definitely like abusing, like oh, you can't say it on YouTube. Bro was definitely like Shara-yuking her. So she was trying to leave. And if she was already beaten up during the joint, how is it premeditated? Because do you really think a woman's going to take a chance getting beaten up by a dude if she wants to leave? No, she's going to... I mean, y'all see Lifetime, y'all see the interrogation joints, all that stuff. Shawty's be setting dudes the fuck up. They wait for dudes to sleep. They put stuff in dudes' drinks and stuff like that. They're not going to go in and attack with a kitchen knife. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Detained in Dubai. She hasn't had access to a lawyer. She's been asked to sign things in Arabic that she doesn't understand. Even in her battered and bruised state, she was strip searched in a room only by men. Some of them are filming this process. So it's not the standard of justice in the process that you get over here.
And these allegations have not been publicly addressed by the UAE authorities, or the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office has only said that it's assisting a British woman detained in the UAE, supporting her family and communicating with local authorities. And as news of this case spread, people online quickly picked a side. Some looked at the headline, a young influencer accused of stabbing her boyfriend, and assumed the case was open and shut. But I don't think this case is that straightforward, because once you look into this, it's a way bigger mess than what I guess the influencer headline seems like, which is why I wanted to cover this story. Because obviously you have to consider Brooke's injuries, her family's account, and the allegations of abuse. The argument on that side is that the investigators should be treating her as a possible victim of domestic violence rather than assuming that she was the aggressor here. The problem is that the public still doesn't have very many answers that would normally help make sense of a case like this. Like, we haven't seen any evidence other than Brooke's side of the story. And honestly, without that, it's hard to really understand how investigators came to this conclusion. As journalists started digging into both Brooke's and Williams' backgrounds, more information about William started coming out. So according to reports in the UK, the 26-year-old had previously been convicted in 2023 of wounding and common assault. And he also got a suspended prison sentence for that. He was also reportedly due to stand trial next year as one of the several people charged following a Kent police investigation into conspiracy to supply, contraband, some of that white powder in the leaf. Obviously, I want to be careful here because this is important. None of that really tells us what happened inside that apartment in Dubai. Obviously, just having a criminal record.
Oh, so bro, like, ran to Dubai. Like I said, like, Dubai, I feel like Dubai has a lot more like criminals in people that do crazy shit than like people like to assume. Because like I said, Dubai is a place where it's like, yeah, you can't do crazy shit in Dubai, but if you make it to Dubai, you're pretty good. Like, you can get away with a whole lot of stuff because, gang, they even accepted Andrew Tate. They accepted Andrew Tate. Dubai is a place, like, I feel like all Muslim countries, right, where if you have enough bread, you can get away with anything, because this whole rumor and stuff of like sheiks pooping on like escorts and stuff like that, do you think that just came out of freaking midair? It's because the super rich dudes out there be doing that freaky ass stuff. Like, there's reasons why, like, they say if your girl go to Dubai for 20K, she getting a mouthful of Cleveland steamer residue. Like, I think, here's my take based on the information bro is given so far. I think Shadi went out there. She was kind of like given the whole lavish lifestyle to make her want to stay out there. Bro is obviously like some type of criminal. He's obviously not the best dude, right? He lures her out there, gets her out there, books her on a one-way ticket, keeps her out there, and is like, nah, Shadi, you about to stay out here. Shit. That's what I think is going on.
Doesn't mean that someone automatically was the aggressor here, but also at the same time, it's also a part of the public record. And it's one of the reasons some people argued that Brooke's allegations deserve to be investigated rather than just simply dismissed. And obviously, William's family are also dealing with a tragedy of their own. His sister wrote that he wasn't just her brother, but also her best friend. His mother said that she was broken and promised that her family would keep his memory alive. This is all just an important reminder that regardless of how this case ends, one dude lost his life, and another woman is now sitting in a Dubai jail awaiting trial with the worst possible punishment hanging over her head. And now this case moves into a new phase where the courts, not social media, will have to decide which version of events is supported by the evidence. And this is currently where we're stuck, because Brooke, she's a 23-year-old British woman who's now found herself stuck in the UAE with the worst possible charge. If she's ultimately convicted of this charge, reports say that she could face penalty by firing squad. That's crazy and absolutely not something you hear every day. Obviously, that's worst case scenario, but regardless of what she gets, she's still potentially facing the rest of her life in jail. And she's currently claiming self-defense. She's 23 years old, she's thousands of miles from home, and her entire future now depends on what court decides happened during a matter of minutes inside of one apartment. So whether you believe Brooke's version of events or think the prosecutors have evidence the public haven't seen yet, I think everyone can agree that this is an awful situation to be in. And this is why I think this case deserves to be looked at very carefully instead of reduced to just a headline, which is, again, why I wanted to cover this video. Because, again, the headline is just so shocking. Currently, Brooke is...
You see, bro, this is why I say, man, like, I understand it's not the easiest to leave a situation. You're getting abused, especially her, because, like, she's thousands of miles away in a country where she doesn't understand the language with a man that is just beating her ass, according to her. Like, and I'm sorry dude lost his life, but if she was asking for her passport and then you just immediately start whooping her, bro, like, that's kind of crazy. That's actually insane to do. Instead of just letting her leave. Like, you can't find, like, no other shawty in the world. Like, I don't understand the dudes that put hands on women that are trying to leave them. It literally doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like, bro, you could get her. You can't get anybody else. Nobody else on this planet wants to, like, be with you, to the fact that you got to beat up the women that are with you. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. Because now, if her vision of a trend of events are true, you're now riding in a box, looking up at her face, looking at the consequences of your actions because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself. Me, this is why I always say, bro, you got to deal with people that want you, not people that need you. When people feel like they need you, you get abusive people. When people feel like they want you, even whether you want to stay or go, it's not gonna. It's gonna hurt, of course, but like they'll be able to get over it. People that feel like they need you never get over the fact that they feel like you disrespected them. And now this dude lost his life, and this girl might get by firing squad is crazy. As a woman, to give a woman the death, as a woman to get the death penalty, you got to do some insane stuff. Most women either get life in prison without parole or like the maximum amount of years. To get death by firing squad is absolutely insane. I personally believe her. Y'all leave y'all own comments and stuff below, but I personally believe her. I think that she was just reacting to the whooping that she was getting, and she just put bro in the dirt. But y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Come to the Night Floor so y'all can learn game the right way. I'm gonna have one more video dropping soon, man, about this movie night joint going on with Love Island tonight. Other than that, man, I'm out this joint, man.